To really sound cool, you might add a few embellishments. A seventh chord is commonly formed with the little finger on a ukulele or a guitar. Logically, the seventh position is the one just below the root note, so that a G note is the seventh position for an A chord. The A is an octave higher, being the eighth. Playing the seventh note tells the ear what is coming next, i.e., back to the root, one note up the scale. But when the listener senses a transition that doesn't eventuate, it keeps the listener on edge. Where a minor note adds a hint of melancholy in a chord, a seventh does the opposite, adding an edginess. This can be heard in many blues songs. Indeed, a song played in all seventh chords sounds very funky. So adding the seventh note opens more possibilities for rhythm and blues. I've given you two types of seventh chord sounds. You can add the little finger or use this inverted V shape on the guitar. You just take the shape and move it sideways or up and down along the frets to get the sound. Start with it in the C position and play some 12-bar blues. A second useful addition, the core of blues music, is what is called the blue note. That is a note that slides up and almost but not quite hits the note until the very last. With a guitar, you get that sound by bending the strings. A simple bend that fits most songs is to just take whatever chord you're playing in the sequence, slide it up 2 frets, and bend the strings. The bend tightens the string, making it go up half a note. Electric guitars have a lever to do this effect, but you can even do it with a uke. The bend is very similar to the effect of a seventh chord because the bent note is a halfway transition sound that alerts the ear to what is coming next. You can get a similar slide steel effect with your guitar or uke by just using a pen instead of your finger to bar a chord. Just slide it up and down the neck to get that twang sound. Blue notes can also make for easier playing. If, for example, an F chord would be too hard to finger quickly, but a type of F sharp could be done with a sliding bar on the way to a G, then, if timed well, the listener's brain will fill in the missing F chord from hearing the F sharp in the sequence. And thirdly, you can use the rock and roll riff that appears in Chuck Berry songs. Instead of bending the string, just tap 2 strings up with the ring finger. These techniques, used sparingly, add a lot of life to blues and R&B music. Finally, as a relief teacher, you may be dealing with very advanced students who are already versed in music. Many schools have studio equipment, and the students may well have even more sophisticated equipment at home. We had such things in our garage bands back when I was a kid, and that was a long time ago. So you may not have to demonstrate basics with such students, but you may be able to contribute to their projects with the resources in this course. The special chord system allows the less advanced students to join in. The advanced students can then be producers. I've included multi-track versions that can be used by the more advanced students to produce custom arrangements. There are MIDI versions for those using software common in schools, for example, digital audio workstation apps such as GarageBand. The MIDI version allows them to substitute a choice of instruments for the tracks, for example, synthesizer in place of piano. The corresponding MP3 versions can be used with audio editing software such as Audacity. All tracks have matching intro countdowns and beats per minute, which can be stretched to suit. This would allow, for example, a student who wanted to create a hip-hop version to create or adapt their own custom drum and bass track or vocal. They could then use my special chord tracks as guides to substitute MIDI instruments and/or record live instruments to multitrack with their custom tracks. Or they could adapt the tracks as backings for a documentary. On the morning of 9th March 1862, an event took place that changed the world. These 4 hours were the first battle on Earth fought between giant machines. In the relief role, you might not have the time or be expected to lead such complex projects in detail, but you'll at least have some resources to contribute for self-directed learners. Our further courses cover many more topics for those who want to record, multitrack, add special effects such as reverb and compression, and make videos.